What is up, soccer sickos? This is Level Up Luke for the Queen City Soccer Show. I am reporting live from Cary, North Carolina, site of the soccer tournament 2024. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is not an episode of our usual Queen City Soccer Show, but good news that will be returning in your feed tomorrow. My co-host Cole Godfrey is back from vacation, so I am excited to bring you guys the Charlotte FC and Charlotte soccer content that you are craving. In the meantime, let me just explain the reason why I've been doing the soccer show series on a daily basis. I know our listener numbers have gone down, and that there's not quite an audience yet for this content. But this is a tournament that's only in its second year. It's going to continue to grow. The reaction here on the ground is incredible, and this is such a huge event, not only for soccer worldwide, but specifically for soccer here in the Carolinas. This event is putting North Carolina on the map. I really hope that Charlotte can enter a team next year that can really put Charlotte on the map and specifically our soccer culture and what we have to bring to the table here, because there are multiple teams from Raleigh and Cary and Durham. And we have such a strong history of not only collegiate soccer in this area, in the Triangle, but also professional soccer in the Carolinas, going back to the Carolina Lightning in the 80s, national championship, winning Carolina Lightning, the only pro sports championship in Charlotte history. So soccer, it has a great legacy, a great history, and this tournament continues that legacy of soccer here in the Carolinas. Uh, there's been, I mean, one of the biggest topics of conversation is, can we move the soccer tournament? People are coming from all over the country, all over the world, and they want the soccer tournament where they are. They want it close to home. We have it here. Okay, not Philadelphia, not Texas, not California, not Chicago. All the places I'm hearing where people are saying, let me put together an entry round. Let's do a regional format, okay, where we take multiple sites, 4, 8 sites, and we have an elimination tournament, and then we send our winners to Cary for the championship. No, the entire tournament is here. We are on day 5 right now. I'm going to bring you a recap of day 4, but I just want to tell you guys, like, this is so important for us as a soccer culture. And thank you so much for listening. For everybody who is tuning in, I greatly appreciate you. I've been working my ass off this week. Let me just tell you, this has been such a grind in the heat. The weather has been fantastic, but it has been sunny and hot, and it just drains the energy out of you. And when you're at the facility from 9 a.m. until 11 p.m. some days, I mean, that's a long, long day. I'm out here getting video clips for you guys. I'm trying to get interviews for you guys. Uh, I'll do a post recap on my total experience here at the soccer tournament. There have been some highs and some opportunities for improvement, let's say, but they are not going out of their way to cater to media. Let me just tell you that right now. Okay. I have not even received a response email from them since I started this adventure. And the one time where I did approach TST directly to ask them for an interview post game, they told me flatly no interviews would be allowed. So they're not trying to promote this on the ground. I'm bringing this to you because I love it and I care about it. It's an opportunity for improvement. It's still a young tournament. I'm sure in the future things will continue to get better, continue to go smoother. But for now, I'm bringing this all to you because I'm working my ass off here. So I hope you appreciate it. I hope you like it. Let's get into the action from Saturday, day 4. We had the men's elimination in the morning, and then in the evening session, we had the quarterfinals for the men's bracket and the final group stage games for the women's bracket, which both of those determine who's going to the semifinals. The semifinals start today. We start out with 48 men's team, 8 women's teams, and to start off the action on Saturday, day 4, we had the Hoosier Army, Indiana. I've been telling you guys since this tournament started, these guys are big, they're physical, they play really well together, they have a lot of chemistry. That's a recipe for success. In a group stage rematch, they actually take out the Air Force alumni group, Freedom United SC, 2-0. So Hoosier Army advances. Next up, Saturday's football continues their improbable run. Apparently, they were just much better than I expected. Out of the group stage, I was not necessarily impressed, but 2-0 over the Raleigh Rebels, who had a very vocal supporter contingent alongside. So shout out to our Carolina guys. They made a very impressive run in the tournament here, making it to the knockout stages. Next up, Newtown Pride. This was interesting. They were playing Como Caligari, the Italian Serie A combo team, the last big brand left in the tournament. And yeah, Newtown comes out with the win 3-2. This was a target score time win. And we started to see a trend here where on the ground, I was hearing that Newtown Pride was getting booed for their really slow style of play, where their keeper will just hold the ball and hold the ball for minutes at a time, and they'll just pass in the back and not develop any attacking opportunities. So I started hearing this buzz, this groundswell of anti Newtown Pride sentiments. And this is the defending champ. Okay. This can be a great story for the soccer tournament, but the fans are starting to turn against them in this game. And as much as I would love them to repeat and love to hear a great storyline from their success, I think also hearing a great storyline from their apparently losing the fans with their very slow style of play, I think that's also very interesting. Next up, a game that a lot of the supporters here were tuning into and going over to on field three. Concaifa SC, Pat McAfee's team, with a 2-1 win over 10-15 FC. So 10-15 had a great run. I want to give them props. They snuck into the knockout stage, but Concaifa kept on rolling. And on the Concaifa side, we had a goal from Gordy Gerson, who we had an interview with on this podcast the other day. Zach Regat had 2 shots on goal and an assist. So just shout out, if you haven't listened to that interview yet, check us out on YouTube and TikTok at QCS Pod. We have that content from Concaifa SC, the boys. It was such a fun interview. I kept running into them again and again at the tournament. Um, Definitely give them a follow on social media. We have their tags on there on Instagram too. So yeah, shout out to the Concaifa boys. They got a big win yesterday over 10-15 to advance and keep their Cinderella dream alive in the morning session. Next up, La Bombonera, 6-0 over Pasha Luxury FC. La Bombonera is for real. We will continue to talk about them as this episode goes on, but La Bombonera, led by specifically, who was their leading? Um, it was a team effort, man. They had just goals coming from all around. Specifically Chad Porch, who's listed as a defender, had 2 goals. So yeah, that's what I was looking for, man. They're spreading it around though. Lots of players scoring. They actually had 5 different goal scorers in that game, so that's incredible. And Nani FC. So they're not necessarily a team brand, but this is what I would call a celebrity team with Luis Nani. 6-3 victory over the Town FC. Both teams in black. So yeah, that's a huge win for Nani. They advance. And Reggae Rovers, the darlings, the Cinderella story of this tournament, 5-1 over the Wrexham Red Dragons. Huge win for the Reggae Rovers as they stay undefeated, advancing to the quarterfinals. They play an exciting, physical, aggressive style of football that the fans love and support. I can tell you, even with the massive Wrexham contingent of fans here, the Reggae Rovers were winning over the crowd with their just excitement and enthusiasm. Once again, shout out to our friends at Backyard Footy. That's Hugh Roberts from the Charlotte Independents, his organization, Backyard Footy. They were on the ground here at TST. They had some interview with the Reggae Rovers, and from that interview on Backyard Footy, Reggae Rovers, their players said that it was all about the vibes, that they know that they're a good team, they know that they're solid, and they just have fun playing together. They are out there having just the time of their lives. And specifically, who do we have here? As I'm looking at the score sheet. Kevon Frater, the forward. So he's been really fun to watch, and his interview on Backyard Footy was great. So check that out if you have the opportunity. Give them a follow. And next up, Sire 7, the team that knocked out Manhattan Kick in the last round, 4-2 over North Carolina FC. The home team, I was there for this one. There were virtually no NCFC supporters there. Their supporters group was like 4 or 5 dudes banging on a trash can. It was absolutely embarrassing. They, for a home field team, were playing on one of the reserve fields, and it was just not a great showing for them. Sire 7 dominated. These are guys that have Premier League experience, like Saka was there for Sire 7. some other names you may recognize. So that team is for real. NCFC taking a big L on this one. And after the game, their fans were just deplorable. They were yelling and shouting obscenities, very rude. There were children and families all around walking past them, and they were yelling, threatening the referees as they were leaving the field, just showing absolutely no class. So NCFC, I'm sorry. I want to pull for the local teams here, but that was, their supporters just continue to be among the most toxic that I've encountered in the local soccer community here. La Bombonera takes over in the quarterfinals, first game of the afternoon session. So winners of these games advance to the semifinals. La Bombonera 4-1 over Saturday's football, ending their Cinderella run. Next up, Nani FC 7-3 over those Sire Sevens. I told you they had Premier League experience. That they're big dudes, physical. They've been muscling other teams in their last few games. Nani FC straight up demolished them. This is the first game I got to watch as I entered the stadium for the afternoon session, and Nani FC advanced to the semifinals. Fantastic performance. Everybody who I talked to says that Nani is for real. They are legit contenders. They're taking this very seriously. Don't call it an upset if Nani ends up winning this. They are for real. Next up, a game that I'm going to give you a match view video of on our TikTok channel, the Hoosier Army versus Concaifa SC, as the TST socials are branding it the Battle for Indiana. So Hoosier Army comes out 1-0 victorious. This was 0-0 going into target score time. So first goal of the match is going to win it. Hoosier Army dominated in target score time. They possessed the ball virtually the entire time. And that's a trend I'm seeing. I'd be really curious to see. I'll provide the feedback to TST directly, but I mean, I'd be interested to hear what the fans think. The trend I'm seeing is that in target score time, as you get down to 4-3, 2-on-2, as they begin taking players away, the ball doesn't change possession very often. Teams that can control the ball, they will have it for the entirety of, third overtime, fourth overtime, fifth overtime. So just as the game continues, there's no circulation of play, and they will just hold the ball and hold the ball and recycle possessions for minutes at a time, 2, 3, 4 minutes at a time. I would be curious, is it worth looking at a shot clock where if a team doesn't actually take a shot on goal over, let's say, 1 minute of play, that the ref blows the whistle and cycles and gives possession to the other team. So that way, at least we keep it going. We keep some offensive intent here. I think just holding the ball for 5 minutes at a time, like Hoosier Army did, and to their credit, I mean, they were offensive. They were looking for opportunities. It looked like just cycling the ball around the key in basketball, like around the 3-point line. So, you know, I don't know, maybe something to look at. Concaifa SC did some amazing defending. Their goalkeeper stood on his head, and eventually Hoosier Army was just too much. Really, this criticism, although I'm talking about Hoosier Army, I saw it in this game. It's really directed at Newtown, who was playing in the next game against the Reggae Rovers. Fireworks in the first half of this game, as and sorry, not to skip past this. Pat McAfee and the boys are going home after an amazing showing. Make sure to check out our interview with Stefan, Gordy, and Zach. Fantastic. These guys, they understood the assignment. They had a great tournament, great showing. So shout out to our boys. But yeah, moving on, Newtown Pride and Reggae Rovers. This is the matchup of the day. This is what everybody wanted to see. Um, Completely different styles of play. Newtown, slow, deliberate, controlled possession. Reggae Rovers, forward, aggressive, athletic, physical, and the chemistry on both sides, the passing, the coordination. These are two of the favorites to win the tournament. And the winner of this one is very well likely going to be the winner of the tournament. So, game of the day. And at halftime, Reggae Rovers really gave it to Newtown like nobody else has been able to do in this tournament. It's 2-2 at halftime. No scores in the second half. It goes into target score time. First one to three wins. It ends up getting down to 2v2. And Newtown held possession for almost that entire overtime without taking, I mean, hardly any shots on goal. An embarrassing and abysmal performance. The fans were booing Newtown loudly. I mean, throughout the target score time periods, loudly booing Newtown. and cheering the Reggae Rovers. The Reggae Rovers won over all of the soccer tournament. The only people I think who were still supporting Newtown are their friends and family, but they became the villains of the soccer tournament in this game because, I mean, I can just tell you as somebody who's just been following this for a few days, the Reggae Rovers showed the heart, determination, all the characteristics, the great vibes, the excitement, the love for the game of soccer that you want to see and that this tournament celebrates. And Newtown Pride was like Darth Vader. They will just march slowly down the hallway, inexorably, bringing a sense of doom and gloom. I mean, it's they have no respect for the actual game of soccer, and what they're doing is not illegal. It's not against the rules, but it is not fun to watch. And I mean, I just hope I hope that somebody puts them in their place and drops 8 or 9 goals on them. I mean, nothing against the players. Like I said, they're following the rules, but man, it sucks to watch them play. So they advance. They're in the semifinals. Our matchups for today, day 5 on the men's side, it's going to be La Bombonera versus Hoosier Army. La Bombonera has been putting up a bunch of goals. Hoosiers are bigger, more physical. It's going to be an exciting one. I'm not quite sure how that matchup is going to play out. And then I'd say the game of the semifinals, game of the day, is going to be Newtown Pride at Nani FC from Field 2. Both these games on Field 2, which is kind of the main big event field at WakeMed Soccer Park. So the video board is on that side. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Newtown Pride, Nani FC. Like I said, I guess I'm cheering for Nani FC to drop 9 on Newtown, put them in their place. But Newtown Pride might be the Amazon python that wraps their body around Nani FC and slowly strangles the life out of them. Good Lord. Who knows? I mean, Newtown trying to repeat here, so props to them. They keep winning. La Bombonera is, maybe one of the biggest surprises of this tournament. Hoosier Army is a Cinderella at this point. There's a lot of storylines. Nani's the biggest name. Newtown, the defending champ. They all have amazing storylines going into the semifinals. Those games kick off at 6 p.m. and 7:30 p.m., one after another on ESPN Plus. Now, you're asking me, what about the women's game? Let me tell you, Saturday, the morning session was just the men's elimination, and then the afternoon session was those men's quarterfinals and also the women's elimination games for the group stage. So winner of these games are going to the semifinals on the women's side. And the first one, and I caught the end of this. There was some controversy here. We had the Burnley FC women's team who's coming in on 1 win, and Tampa Bay Sun FC, who has had a really good tournament so far. Burnley women had Kalia Watt, who is the wife of JJ Watt and a pro soccer player in her own right. She's fantastic. And from everything I've seen this tournament, Burnley FC, the women's team, looks head and shoulders better compared to the competition than the Burnley men's team. Uh, when I came in, it was, I think, 5-0 or 5-1 in favor of Tampa Bay Sun going into target score time. So Burnley FC scored a few, and it was 5-3. As they were coming back, there was a foul assessed against the Burnley women's team, and it was due to a uniform infraction where they put out a substitute goalkeeper who was a field player in target score time as the players decrease. That's a common tactic. Usually they wear a penny. The ref said because she wasn't wearing the penny, it was a foul. The Burnley side was arguing that that's not technically a rule, it's just a regular procedure. There was more controversy than that, but Tampa Bay Sun wins it 6-3 in target score time. Tampa Bay Sun is the USL Super League team that is starting up in August. So they have not actually played their first game as an official team yet. The soccer tournament is their debut. And I had a chance to talk with some of the staff, some of the players after the game. They are feeling it. They're vibing. They've already gotten some practice together. They're having a great time. So I'm not gonna lie, man. I love my Carolina Ascent, and I saw some of the Carolina Ascent coaches out here at the soccer tournament, maybe scouting, maybe just enjoying some soccer. But Tampa Bay Sun might be my backup USL Super League team. They are a lot of fun. They have such a great competitive mentality. They have a cool yellow and black logo. So if you're into the Steelers or Borussia Dortmund, their logo, their colors might kind of vibe with you here. So shout out Tampa Bay Sun, got a big win. Burnley, their coaching staff and their leaders were out on the field after the game for like 45 minutes arguing with the refs, trying to get a replay of the game or play it under uh, say that it was a contested win. JJ Watt and TJ Watt, from what I heard secondhand, were maybe trying to chase down the refs into the tunnel after the game. It got very heated, and if you got JJ and TJ Watt chasing you down, the whole Watt family out there on the field for Burnley, uh, that's that's a lot. That's a lot for the refs to stand up to here. But the game's the game. They lost pretty handily, so I don't really see what they're complaining about here. It seemed like Tampa Bay Sun really did earn it, regardless of that one situation or whatever else was going on. North Carolina Courage in action defeating Soccerhead FC. North Carolina Courage advances. U.S. Women and Wrexham. This was the game of the day on the women's side. It was on field 2 in Wakeman Stadium. So I'm going to bring you a match view of this one as well. The U.S. women tied it up, and Wrexham tied it up. They kept going back and forth, and eventually in target score time, target score 4, U.S. women take it. But the Wrexham Red Dragons do not win a single game in the group stage. They're eliminated. I will say their performance was much better than that, and it was great to see them play. The women from the Welcome to Wrexham show actually did show up. It was their real team, unlike most of these other teams. Like the U.S. women's team was not the actual U.S. women's team. There was some alumni, like Carly Lloyd was on the team, some other names that we'd recognize um, on the U.S. team. I'm just taking a look: Heather O'Reilly, Ali Krieger. Uh, Yeah. Uh, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't know most of the names on this roster, but Corey Lloyd is involved, and it is some alumni, some up and comers, and their friends. But the U.S. women's team does advance, and Angel City gets a huge win over Streetball FC Canada, who came into that game undefeated. Big win for the Sevens. So the Angel City Sevens. For the playoffs, for the semifinals, it is going to be Streetball FC Canada versus North Carolina Courage. And Streetball FC Canada did lose to Angel City, but like I said, they came into that game undefeated. They do advance on points. Angel City is still eliminated on goal differential, and so Streetball FC versus the host North Carolina Courage. Give me the Courage in that one. Streetball FC Canada, I think, is more talented, but I think the home field advantage for the Courage is going to win out. And then the second game is going to be the Tampa Bay Sun that I was telling you about earlier versus the U.S. women's team. I know this is going to shock you guys, but give me the upset. I'm taking Tampa Bay Sun in this one. Hey, go USA. Don't hold that against me, but I think Tampa Bay Sun is the better team right now. The championship games are going to be held uh, Monday night, 7 p.m. for the women's game, 8:30 for the men's game. Those will be broadcast, I believe, on ESPN, but definitely on ESPN Plus. So check your local listings. This is Level Up Luke. I'm going to sign off for now. I had such a great time. I cannot wait to bring you more of the interviews, more of the conversations, more of the content that I had the pleasure of creating and the conversations I had. I mean, this has been such a fun experience. I got to head back to Charlotte. My dog had an issue with boarding, so I got to go home and pick him up. But hey, shout out to all of our listeners, all the soccer sickos. I will be back in your ears tomorrow with a Queen City Soccer Show regular weekly episode with Cole. We're going to talk about Charlotte FC. We're going to talk about Jägermeister Cup, Charlotte Independence, Greenville Triumph, Crown Legacy. We're going to talk about everything that you want to hear about our local Charlotte stuff. And then I'll come back tomorrow, or actually Tuesday, with a final recap of the soccer tournament. I want to break it down, the highs, the lows, and give you guys a review of the semifinals and the championship games. Two $1 million coming up, two $1 million winners coming up for this tournament. It's going to be very exciting. Talk to you guys soon. Bye. And hey, Carolina soccer. It's for real.